I've played piano since I was 5 and was classically trained, and I later took up guitar when I was about 11 or 12. I later incorporated bass as well, and I've been playing bass since I was about 18, 19, again self-taught.
I've been playing drums now for about 16 to 17 years. I was going to be forced into playing the piano, but I just thought I was a bit more rebellious, and it's got me where I am now.
Yeah, I've been playing guitar for about 8 years now, and I wasn't going to be forced to play piano or anything like that.
Just going up on Joe Day and his piano skills. That's the point. I briefly learned saxophone and violin as well, and they were both shite.
I was brought up into like a very heavily into music parents, you know, and I think it was Keith Moon, watching Keith Moon, and I was just like, wow, that just looks amazing.
I mean, I would say the Mersey beat thing is very much dead now. It's had its time, but I don't think the music industry in Liverpool now is still thriving in the same way that it perhaps was when the Beatles were first around, or in the aftermath of the Beatles. I think it's very much kind of died down now, and they're seen as more of a relic rather than this lasting impression that they've had on Liverpool. I don't know, I could be wrong.
I think you just took the words out of my mouth.
Right out your mouth. The Beatles have become this thing where you aren't allowed to have an opinion on them, basically. And when you say to people, oh, I'm not too fond of the Beatles, they're like, well, you are a musician, aren't you? Well, how can you not like the Beatles? Which isn't really a solid argument, but just some people it just doesn't seem to compute.
I think they've had a very heavy influence on music, like the theoretical side. You could say, yeah, well, every band has kind of been influenced by them, but it's not a direct influence. It's more like the Beatles did a lot of things first.
There wasn't so much focus on such a huge number of artists in the industry those days. I mean, now, you know, anyone through the internet can kind of get a little bit successful, but back then it was more sensationalist, wasn't it? I mean, it was a handful of bands.
It's almost as if the industry just went, quick, there's someone, they all dress the same, grab them, we'll take them. Oh, they've got strange accents. Every band has to have an image, really, if you're going to make it, because there's nothing for the public to latch onto. Do you know what I mean? Because it's always had a big influence on the public. Like, you know, it's all about looking cool now, not playing great music, unfortunately.
Essentially, a band's a product. You've got to be marketed.
I think the live scene in Liverpool at the moment, I know there's a lot of people who agree with this, but it's a bit of a dead swan for bands at the moment. The image of that. Cut to a dead swan. In Liverpool, it seems like when everyone was 14, 15, obviously they were too young to kind of experience the nightlife in like clubs. So going to see bands was kind of one of the ways of going to venues where you'd usually be too young to get in. You know, that was what you did to enjoy yourself. And there's a big house music and electro scene in Liverpool now as well with that, and a lot of people go into this because they basically, obviously the mentality is go out for as long as you can, and now it seems that that's almost the culture of that sort of music has taken over. And for bands, I've just noticed like fewer people turning up to gigs. And there was that phase where obviously rock was massive, everyone went out and bought guitars and basses and whatever they could get. When I'm chatting to people who used to do that and aren't nowadays, and they ask me what I'm up to and they see that I'm still playing in bands, they're almost like, oh, you're still doing that, are you?
Yeah.
You know, you'll grow up any minute now.
I think Liverpool, especially today, has a lot of opportunities for artists and musicians. There's so many venues everywhere, you know, you can always get a gig if you really want one.
And they are all within kind of like a 15-20 minute walk of each other. Whereas, you know, obviously bigger cities like London, it's a lot more spread out. That's why it might be such a specific scene, is because the heart of the city is exceptionally small.
I think bands in Liverpool as well have a kind of camaraderie, like, because it's such a small scene.
Yeah, that's what's great in it. Everyone knows each other.
I don't see myself in Liverpool in sort of like the next 5 to 10 years. I mean, it's too small. a city, I think, and the industry is nowhere near thriving enough.
Whatever I'm doing, wherever I am, like, I'm always going to be doing this. I'm always going to be in a band. I just love playing drums. I love writing music.
Music is my passion, so like wherever I am, I'm going to carry on with music. As long as I've got enough money to eat and have a roof over my head, I'm going to carry on doing music.
Put it this way, man, this practice space that we're in now, or the other rooms, the band below us, they might be like 40 odd years old, but they're still in a band playing covers or still writing music because they've just got that passion.